In the 21st century, it's hard to imagine the British Army gunning down hundreds of innocent peaceful protesters. But shockingly, that's exactly what happened in India in 1919. The death count is disputed, but is estimated to be anywhere between 400 and 1,500, with many hundreds more injured. The impact of these events still haunts India today. Welcome to Infamous Episodes. This is the truly horrific story of the Amritsar Massacre. In the early 1900s, India was buzzing with a strong desire for freedom from British rule. The year 1919 was quite turbulent, with harsh laws coming into play, particularly the Rowlatt Act, which was introduced by the British to suppress political opposition. This law allowed the government to arrest and detain individuals without a trial, a clear abuse of power, and something that Western society would never be able to introduce today. Amidst this tension, Saifuddin Kichlu and Satya Pal emerged as significant figures advocating for India's independence, representing the widespread discontent among the people. As a result, they were seen as a clear threat to British authorities and were subsequently arrested and moved to a secret location, sparking outrage across the British Raj. The city of Amritsar became a focal point in this struggle for freedom. It was a city with a rich historical and cultural background, and its citizens were all too familiar with the realities of colonial rule. The arrest of Kichlu and Satya Pal, two champions of self-rule, was seen as a direct attack on the growing independence movement. This action sparked a public reaction leading to a peaceful protest on April 13, 1919. Which was also the day of Baisakhi, a festival marking the Sikh New Year. The date for the protest wasn't chosen at random. Baisakhi symbolises renewal and hope, which resonated with the people's aspirations. The venue for this peaceful demonstration was Jallianwala Bagh, a public garden in the city of Amritsar. This garden was meant to serve as a peaceful ground for expressing dissent and appealing for the right to self-determination. On the morning of the protest, people from various backgrounds gathered at Jallianwala Bagh, united by the shared cause. The crowd included men, women and children from different religions and social backgrounds. Despite their differences, they were all there peacefully, seeking justice and exercising their right to protest. The protest symbolised more than just an opposition to the Rowlatt Act or the arrest of the activists. It was an expression of the frustration that had been building up over the years under British rule. Everything came together on that day in Amritsar. As the crowd grew in Jallianwala Bagh, the nation's attention was fixed on the city. This peaceful gathering was about to mark a significant chapter in India's fight for independence, creating a historical moment that would be remembered by generations to come. And this day would prove to be remembered, but for all the wrong reasons. Brigadier General Reginald Dyer, whose name would soon echo through history as a symbol of mercilessness, was en route to Jallianwala Bagh with 50 Gurkha riflemen. His motives were as clear as they were dark. Upon his arrival, he immediately commanded his troops to seal off the only exit to the garden, trapping the unsuspecting crowd. As Dyer's order to fire ran through the air, the peaceful gathering quickly spiraled into a scene of unimaginable horror. The initial bursts of gunfire shattered the serene atmosphere, turning the garden from a place of peaceful protest to a scene of slaughter. The cries of terror filled the air as the bullets didn't discriminate between men, women or children. For 10 long, horrifying minutes, the firing continued, painting the ground red with the blood of innocent protesters. The sky bore witness as the bullets mercilessly snuffed out the flames of hope and the aspirations for freedom that had brought the crowd together. Chaos ensued as people ran for their lives, but with the only exit blocked and having been surrounded by Dyer's men, there was nowhere to hide. In their desperation to save their lives, people jumped into a well in the middle of the garden, plunging to their deaths. It was said that up to 120 bodies were recovered from this well alone, and hundreds more lay dead above the ground. The brutal nature of Dyer's actions sent shockwaves, not only through India, but across the world. Each bullet that struck down the defenceless protesters was more than just a physical assault. It was a violent affront to democratic values and the dignity of human life. The massacre was a chilling display of colonial power, intended to intimidate and crush the growing resistance. However, Dyer grossly underestimated the resilience and the unyielding spirit of a nation striving for liberty. The gruesomeness of the massacre lay not only in the number of lives lost, but in the ruthless manner of their extermination. Jallianwala Bagh became a horrific arena where innocence was sacrificed on the altar of colonial domination. The absence of remorse from Dyer and his troops reflected the colonial contempt for native lives and ambitions. The aftermath of the massacre left an indelible scar on India, fueling a passion for resistance that would eventually escalate into a monumental movement for independence. The story of Jallianwala Bagh became more than just a chapter in Indian history. It emerged as a somber narrative in the broader dialogue on colonialism, human rights, and the enduring spirit of a resistance against tyranny. The agonizing cries from Jallianwala Bagh on that harrowing day resonated far beyond the confines of Amritsar, reaching across the sprawling landscape of India and reverberating on foreign shores. In the wake of the massacre, a wave of outrage and sorrow swept the nation. The horrific scenes of lifeless lifeless bodies strewn across the garden, which had become a makeshift graveyard, were seared into the national consciousness. The cruelty of colonialism was laid bare for all to see, dispelling any lingering illusions of benign British governance. The indiscriminate killing of unarmed civilians, including women and children, highlighted the brutal reality of colonial subjugation. The following day, Dyer released a statement, saying, "You people know well that I am a sepoy and soldier. Do you want war or peace? If you wish for a war, the government is prepared for it. And if you want peace, then obey my orders and open all of your shops, else I will shoot." For me, the battlefield of France or Amritsar is the same. I am a military man, and I will go straight. Neither shall I move to the right nor the left. Speak up if you want war. In case there is to be peace, my order is to open all shops at once. You people talk against the government, and persons educated in Germany and Bengal talk sedition. I shall report all these. Obey my orders. I do not have anything else. I have served in the military for over 30 years. I understand the Indian sepoy and Sikh people very well. You will have to obey my orders and observe peace. Otherwise, the shops will be opened by force and rifles. You will have to report to me of the badmash. I will shoot them. Obey my orders and open shops. Speak up if you want war. You have committed a bad act in killing the English. The revenge will be taken upon you and upon your children. The Amritsar Massacre marked a decisive turn in India's fight for freedom. The gentle calls for reform evolved into fervent demands for self-determination. The massacre moved Mahatma Gandhi to initiate the non-cooperation movement, urging Indians to cut ties with the British authorities, whether in employment, education, or patronising British goods. This initiative ignited a flame of nationalism, binding people from every corner of India in a united front against colonial oppression. Furthermore, the massacre awakened the global communities to the brutality of colonial rule. The horrific violence elicited condemnation not only from colonies, but within the British Parliament itself, albeit without culminating in any substantial action against Dyer or a formal apology from the British government. Dyer returned to England, where he was allowed to resign without punishment, and even received a large sum of money that was raised in his support as a retirement gift. The massacre also lit a fire of retribution in individuals like Udham Singh, who 2 decades later avenged the heinous act by assassinating Michael O'Dwyer, the then Lieutenant Governor of Punjab. Singh was arrested, charged, and eventually sentenced to death. At his trial, Singh told the court, "I did it because I had a grudge against him. He deserved it. He was the real culprit. He wanted to crush the spirit of my people, so I have crushed him. For a full 21 years, I have been trying to wreak vengeance. I am happy that I have done the job. I am not scared of death. I am dying for my country. I've seen my people starving in India under the British rule. I have protested against this. It was my duty. What a greater honour could be bestowed upon me than death for the sake of my motherland." Singh was executed by hanging on the 31st of July 1940. This act of retaliation bore testimony to the enduring wounds inflicted on that day, wounds that had failed to heal with the passage of time. The Amritsar Massacre stirred a torrent of literary and artistic expressions, with creators immortalising the horror, sorrow, and unyielding resistance through their works. This outpour of expression crossed linguistic and geographic borders, engraving the memory of the massacre in the global narrative. The massacre was presented in all of its horror in the 1982 film Gandhi. The establishment of a memorial in 1951 at Jallianwala Bagh and the unveiling of a statue of Udham Singh were more than mere acts of remembrance. They were tribute to the unyielding spirit of resistance and the pursuit of justice that the massacre symbolised. In 2019, as the world marked the centenary of the massacre, the British government expressed deep regret, yet stopped short of a formal apology, displaying a historical wound yet to be fully recognised or healed. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts on the Amritsar Massacre in the comments below, and we'll continue this discussion. If you're interested in learning more about the Amritsar Massacre, I've provided links to further reading in the video description, or you can scan the QR code on screen. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all of our latest videos. We really appreciate it.